rooster. He says he's come to help me again. I don't believe it. Let's see. Any chance? Yeah. We're just hanging in anyways. See if I can get you some kind of a deal. See what I'm doing. Well, it's a little messed up, but because I don't know. Here we go. I'm digging out a little trench here between the sidewalk for my wires. Using a screwdriver, and initially I kind of used it as a plow, you know. Eating something. Yeah. Find any worms? I don't know. Here's some creaking of a door. It's windy out today. It's about 1 degree maybe. And in the shade, maybe a little colder with the wind, you know. Here, let's change some viewage. That might be better. I always like doing things all comfortably, you know. Hey, buddy. You just don't have any friends, do you? You know, you're kind of like a kid in the school ground, you know, that like no one wants to hang around with. You end up coming over and saying, hey, can you be my friend? I'll be your friend, sure. I'll look after you, buddy. Yeah. How you doing anyways? Yeah. You don't have to help me. I got it under total control. Oh wow, he's eating burdock leaves. Oh, you like that, eh? I didn't know that. Here, I'll get you the whole thing. Oh, good job. Here's another piece of burdock, buddy. Here, right here, look. No, grab it. I'll let it go. Oh. Okay, let's try this again. I'm trying to get it deep, so I pack a couple of wires in there. I'm not even put 3 because I don't want to do this again. Oh, getting real close. Just making sure this end will work. We're ready to do it. Here it goes, watch. Just using a screwdriver to get it clean out. Rooster's getting all excited because he knows something's gonna happen. Hey, buddy. Sometimes I'm a little anal, you know. Like, it's probably enough, but whatever. Enjoying the frigid cold air, you know. Oh, you want to check something out? I gotta do that and that. Okay. Let me see a thing. Oh, okay. Like extra wire, I guess. Okay, that's cool. Swing that over there somewhere. Okay, here we go. Oh, it was like something for my knees. That's okay. You gotta move it. No worries. Need my screwdriver. Probably put sand in this hole after, you know? Oh, dirt. Well, if I put dirt, I guess plants will grow. If I put sand, plants won't grow. So do I want plants to grow or not grow? I don't want them to grow. So I'll put dirt in there, like topsoil. You know? Okay, the bell wire's going in, no problem. Here it comes. Nope. Use that. Keep it there. Sort of. Oh. Yeah. Okay, next wire. Okay, this one probably go that way. And uh-oh. Yeah. Okay, I gotta do something. Had to be done anyways. Okay. We're all good. We're all good to go. Give myself a little more bell. A little more bell line. Going back to the space. Sure. Door's still creaking. It's okay. Kind of a nice rhythm. I don't know if you can hear it. It's like when it really creaks. You know, it's really blowing, you know? Like there, it's kind of going to a little slow creak. Yeah. Oh, look, I can pack the wires side by side. It's no problem. It is no problem, actually. Maybe I'll put down like a stick. Yeah? Can you find me a stick, buddy? There's something I'm gonna do though, I just saw it. I need a hammer though. So instead we're gonna use a brick. Yeah, I got a hammer, but actually I got one right there. But it means I have to get up. And nothing more than anything. I hate when I have to move just to get another tool, you know? Because you're already in place, you're already doing something. Oh, I still gotta do more chisel. So my MacGyver thing is, you know, grab whatever's close, you know, first. Oh, see? Got it jammed there now. Oh. So, and really focus on what you're doing here, see? You know? And this makes a nice hammer, actually. It really does. Because, you know, even metal hitting that gives it some stress, and it's not as bad. It's learning how to work with things, you know. I am improvise crazy man, actually. What don't I improvise? So, got that. Getting back just took a little longer than I wanted, but it doesn't matter. Kind of enjoying it, you know. So I know it's kind of being done right. Okay, I got the wire in there, and I'm just thinking I could use it like a nice sized piece of wood. Like narrow. Oh, I got one in the garden here. Yeah, I'll use that. Used to be a doorstop, pine doorstop. It's good stuff. I use it for like stakes for my garden, so I'll sacrifice it to this. I'll grab it. There it is, see? Can you believe I inventoried that in my head? A piece of doorstop. Holy, you know what? Oh, it's pine. You know? Oh, and there's a little wood detail I made some long time ago. Oh yeah, I made this when I was making my egg rocking trays for my rocker. So like, I barely throw anything away. And you wouldn't even believe it, but I actually use it, like right now, you know? In the meantime, it's in my garden holding some plants up, right? And then it gets placed into a place like this, you know? Where it's placed underground or between some concrete. Protects the wires, you know, it's like, I wouldn't have known to do that just a minute ago. I'm just thinking of it, but there, I got a little bottom of a planter box wedge. So now when I put dirt in there, there's some dirt really close by. Yeah. Like, look at this dirt. It's really nice. Oh, I found that. Oh, I guess you don't know what I'm doing. Here, I'll give you a quick look. I'll just let you slowly take a peek at the little ledge. And there's a piece of wood in there, right? And there it coming out the under end, you know, ready to go underground. I mean, is this the professional, you know, building code way to do things? I could never figure that stuff out anyways. I think building code is, I think building code's made for dummies, man. Because there's better ways than the building code, that's for sure. That's like a minimalist way to do anything when you build a house. And then when you show them a more elaborate, sort of twice as strong method that's different than a building code, they're gonna look at it and say, you can't do that, that's impossible. No, we won't allow you to do that, no. One time, I was building straw bale homes, like a long time ago. Okay, like in year 2000 was it? I went to a course. No, it was year 2001. No, just before 9/11 actually. I went to a course up in Hillsborough to learn how to build straw bale homes, okay? And that's where I met, well, I didn't meet Rod and Alvaro there, but no, is it Rod? Rod came up and me and him were together during that. Isn't that funny? Isn't that, and Simon bought me a ticket. And that's why I was there. He paid for it. So that's how I ended up there. But I mean, wouldn't you know, it's like, once I was there, I was like so pumped. I couldn't believe the idea of building a straw bale home. Like out of straw, you know, 22 inches wide, and and when you have stucco on both sides, it's R77. I just couldn't fathom that could be, but it is. It's true. And you know what's crazy? There's some old straw homes that are built in Russia, made out of straw and clay, and they're like 700 years old. Okay? So hay's a great building medium. It really is. And we grow it on the fields. Holy, it is like, is it not the solution to all this trouble? Because you know what I learned from that course? I learned it was so easy to build these straw bale homes. You know, you got your solid rock foundation, you pour concrete, so you have this tubing that you put through like garden tube so you can run a wire, and then you have a top plate on top of the bales, right? You drop in the bales like bricks, and as you get to the top, and you make window bucks, like you put wood across where there's windows, and then you shape your windows in, right? So, and then after you got this top plate on, and you've got this sort of base plate with the hose through it, you run a wire through it, and with a, like a come along, you can compress it on each little like 2-foot point where you put that little garden hose tubing. I'm trying to shoot out a lot of info fast. It's friggin' awesome, exciting, perfect way to build a home. You can compress these things, stucco both sides, and they're load-bearing walls, like solid, and it's a higher fire rating than a wood frame home. How can that be? But it is, it's true. It's got a higher fire rating than a wood frame home. A straw bale home has a higher fire rating than the standard R20 wood frame 2x6 construction home. I'm not kidding you. It's true. And a matter of fact, there were 2,000 straw bale homes built in Canada in the year 2000. That's what I learned when I went to the course in 2001, right? Why aren't we building those homes? Why aren't we building those homes? Because the government wants you to consume stuff, right? Consume gas, consume all this stuff so that you pay for it, you get serviced it. They keep you as your little slaves, right? They don't want you independent. They definitely don't want you independent. It's kind of like all part of it, right? Like, remember, oh God, you remember that saying George Carlin says? I don't believe the government at all. I don't believe anything the government ever says. I don't believe a single thing. I never believe anything. George Carlin is like, never believe anything the government says. Because they never have your interests at heart at all, man. They want to keep you freaked out about pandemic, man. That's their master plan. Okay, I'm getting way off track. Okay, the straw bale homes. Oh man, fucking killer. You know what? Oh, I'd love to build one. There are some issues. I mean, you could have a moisture issue. Like, you don't want to really build a straw bale home in a real wet area, that's for sure, okay? Like, I would say high up on a hill is perfect. Lots of rock foundation for it so it can dry out when the rainy or wet season comes, right? Because it is susceptible to moisture because it has a straw. But if you air pack it tight and you keep it tight with a good amount of stucco and you maintain it, like if it starts to crack and open cracks, right? It actually, and you don't get mice running in your walls because they can't get through the stucco. I'm telling you, stucco is like a layer of concrete on these straw bale walls, and then you got your rock plate, right? So it's actually a sealed cavity. I mean, you run wires in the walls, but wherever you run wires, like you run wire bucks, you just set it in the wall and you run your wires at 4-foot length so it never goes down, right? Your wires down to the floor or anything. You just keep it, and then you just fill stucco in all those wire cavities, and you have your junction boxes coming out, and they still, no mice can get to the wires or the junction boxes. So it really is the better way, for sure. It is. Straw bale homes. I think it's actually so important, other than airships, which are like paramount, #1 thing we should be doing.